The Lake News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a man rushes at the Buffalo grocery store mass shooter at a hearing today. We'll take you to the emotional courtroom.
Plus, right now, a minor in Nebraska can be sentenced to life in prison without parole. One senator wants to change that.
Also, today is National School Resource Officer Day. We spoke with a couple of them to take a look at the impact they make in our schools. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. But first tonight, we want to get you the latest on your weather. Looks like some snow is headed our way.
How much can we expect, and when is it going to be here? As always, let's check in with our expert, Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawson. Rusty?
It is already starting to snow in many areas. In fact, a few snowflakes being reported in the capital city already. No accumulation yet, but that will come as we head through tonight and into the very early morning hours on Thursday. But let's take a look and see what the satellite and radar is picking up. Looks like quite a bit of snow. A lot of this not quite getting to the ground yet, but if you see the darker shades of blue, that is likely getting to the surface. But like I said, Lincoln, maybe a couple of snowflakes falling from the sky right now, but no accumulation is happening. We'll zoom out and show you that generally along and south of Interstate 80 is where our best chance for accumulating snowfall is at. You notice from about Broken Bow to Grand Island to Lincoln how the snow tries to move north, but it just isn't moving any further north. There's a lot of dry air in place, and that dry air is going to keep any snowfall from accumulating for the northern half of the state, but the southern half of the state does have a better chance of seeing accumulating snowfall. So because of that, winter storm warnings through Thursday, that's the area shaded in pink. Winter weather advisories on the northern fringe of this, where lesser amounts are expected, and then you go further north and you just probably won't see any kind of accumulating snowfall. Outside right now, Beatrice, it's not dark out. Someone must have turned the lights off. There we go. Thank you for turning the lights back on. Plenty of cloud cover, no snow out there yet, but that will come later on this evening. 29 degrees in Beatrice, 27 in Wymore, 29 degrees in Nebraska City. So everybody is cold enough for snowfall. So at least we don't have to worry about that icing probability. The wind speed is out there too, out of the north at 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting to around 30 miles per hour. So blowing snow will become an issue for those that do see snow. The best chance for snow coming down in the Lincoln area is tonight after 10 p.m. and through early tomorrow morning. And then it should start to taper off as we get past 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So snowfall is out there. We are going to see some accumulating snowfall in some spots. I'll show you how much and where in a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Rusty. A Lincoln apartment fire near 17th and 8th Streets could leave several residents without a home for a while. Fire officials say it started in the basement and then spread to one of the apartments above it.
They say no one was home in either apartment when it started, but firefighters did rescue 2 cats who were taken by animal control to a vet to be checked out.
When we arrived, we found fire coming from the basement apartment that had started the deck on fire from the apartment above it. We made a quick attack, extinguishing what we could from the exterior, and then made an interior attack, and were able to knock down the fire and extinguish it pretty quickly.
Officials don't yet have any estimates on the amount of damage and are still investigating a cause, but as many as 8 residents will not be able to live there for some time.
A white SUV collided with a Penske truck this morning. It happened near 48th and Fremont around 8:30. Lincoln police say some of the people involved did suffer some minor injuries. They're still looking into what exactly caused the crash. Well, a new bill at the Capitol looks to make some changes in juvenile justice policies. It would prohibit life sentence without parole for minors here in Nebraska.
Channel 8's Veronica Barreto joins us now in studio with more. Veronica?
This proposal would give a juvenile offender the opportunity to rehabilitate their lives and reintegrate themselves into society. Senator Jerome McKinney's bill would put an end to giving juvenile offenders a life sentence without any chance of parole. In Nebraska, kids as young as 14 years old could have their cases transferred to adult court. Experts say judges should take into consideration that teens and young adults' brains are still developing.
We're really talking about someone who doesn't have the ability to inhibit themselves, stop themselves from risky behaviors the way that an adult would until probably 25 or after. So we probably want to think about that in legal issues.
The American Psychological Association says the power of peer influence should also be taken into consideration in juvenile cases. The bill is still being discussed at the at the Judiciary Committee in the Nebraska Legislature. I will have more on this story at 6 o'clock.
Looking forward to it, Veronica. Thank you very much. Today, the lone gunman that killed 10 people in a Buffalo supermarket last May was sentenced. Peyton Gendron was 18 at the time of the shooting and will now spend the rest of his life behind bars.
The sentence came after an emotional day filled with victim impact statements. In fact, a family member of one of the victims went after Gendron in the courtroom today. Take a look.
We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhoods and take people out. Don't do it.
As you can see, the man was restrained by court officers while Gendron was rushed out of the room. The judge also leaving the bench at that time. As court proceedings returned to normal, more loved ones shared their pain and loss before Gendron gave his own statement and the judge imposed the sentence.
I believed what I read online and acted out of hate. I know I can't take it back, but I wish I could. And I don't want anyone to be inspired by me and what I did.
There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. White supremacy has been an insidious cancer on our society and nation since its inception.
After sentencing, Gendron's attorneys said they will not appeal the sentence. He's scheduled to appear before a federal court on Thursday on more than 24 hate crime charges. Today, we're learning more about the victims who died when a gunman opened fire inside 2 campus buildings at Michigan State University.
At least 3 students were killed and 5 others are still in critical condition. Those killed have been identified as sophomore Brian Frazier, the president of his fraternity, junior Alexandria Werner, an athlete known for her kindness, and junior Ariel Anderson, who wanted to be a surgeon. For one man's daughter, unfortunately, this isn't the first time. She also survived a mass shooting a little over a year ago at a Michigan high school.
Having been through it in Oxford, it helped her understand what she needs to do in these situations.
Police say the MSU gunman died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound hours after opening fire in those 2 buildings on campus. According to Michigan's Department of Corrections, the shooter previously served time in prison on weapons charges, raising questions about how he was able to get firearms again. Today is National School Resource Officers Day, and a number of police departments are honoring their officers for the occasion. They say the job that SROs do helps to protect students and keep them safe in schools. Channel
8's Matthew Mittleider joins us now here in the studio with more. Matthew?
School resource officers are assigned to work with schools to help teach students about law enforcement, provide counseling, and keep both students and staff safe. Many schools and police departments say the job they do is important in supporting the community's youth. I spoke with some SROs today who say they are always working to ensure that students are taken care of and are working to make them more comfortable around law enforcement. They say they can also help if a student is having a problem at home, so it's important to build relationships with the community.
When you have the officers that are in the schools and you're working as community-based policing, it helps because you're building those relationships. You're getting other agencies involved out in the community. Obviously not everything's going to deal with the criminal justice system. If they have other issues going on, mental health or substance abuse issues, we can get those resources out to the community to help them.
However, some argue that there are better uses for school and police resources and say having law enforcement present in schools doesn't make them any safer. They say their presence in schools affects students' mental health and future opportunities, making them less likely to graduate, apply for scholarships, and go to college. I'll have more on this story at 6.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for that report. The Nebraska State Patrol arrested a Lincoln man on suspicion of possessing child pornography.
Troopers say they served a search warrant at 33-year-old Daniel Pulaski's apartment today near 48th and Layton Avenue. Inside, they say they found numerous items of child pornography. He was arrested on suspicion of possessing and distributing child porn. The investigation is ongoing.
The State Patrol says it also found child porn on a Grand Island man's computer. Slevin Sanchez was arrested. Officials say a tip from a national organization led them to his home, and a search, they say, turned up several illegal images. All right, on to happier news now. Happening in Kansas City today, the Chief Kingdom. They were out in full force.
Hundreds of thousands of fans gathered in Kansas City to celebrate their team's big Super Bowl win. Crowds cheered the Chiefs players and staff in a parade that would wind its way through downtown. Team members were seen hoisting the infamous Lombardi Trophy, enjoying beverages and waving to fans. A number of local school districts and colleges got the day off, with some classifying it as a red snow day.
Kansas City, I can honestly say, has the best heart, and we've noticed that since we've been here, and it's why we ended up moving here. It's been great. So, and we love the team as always.
The Chiefs again defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35 in Sunday night's game in Glendale, Arizona. The win was KC's second Super Bowl title in 4 seasons. Still to come on the news tonight, one Lincoln organization is getting ready for a dart tournament this weekend.
How this event helps those in need across the capital city right after the break. Don't go away.
Ashley.
Of Lincoln are continuing to enact their No One Fights Alone campaign after nearly 10 years. The local nonprofit is hosting its 6th annual charity dart tournament this weekend.
It's to raise money for those fighting life-threatening illnesses and fleeing domestic violence. The Pink Ladies of Lincoln have been helping families in the capital city since 2015 with over $30,000 given last year alone. The nonprofit's co-founder says since day one, they've set out to blend entertainment and fundraising for those who needed it most.
Each nominee, as often as we can, we give a $1,000 gift. And what we always tell them is it's no strings attached. Use that however you can. And we know that $1,000 isn't going to solve the financial issues that come along with these kinds of things. but it can help.
The 3-day dart tournament is one of several events that will fund their donations to Lincoln families. Coates says each event is geared toward games to involve the community in the cause. Again, the tournament is this weekend, starting on Friday at the gala here in Lincoln. One other story making national news, veteran actress Raquel Welch has died.
The iconic actress passed away today in Los Angeles after a brief illness.
Yeah, I don't usually go to these type of things, but I thought this one seemed so special.
Yeah, Welch is best known for her role as a cave woman in the 1966 prehistoric movie 1 Million Years BC. From the film, she became an international sex symbol. Welch had more than 70 film and television credits under her belt. She won a Golden Globe for her 1974 role in The Three Musketeers. Raquel Welch was 82 years old.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Something to keep an eye on as we head through the next 12 to 18 hours are road conditions. Already seen some blues and pinks out there. This is from last night's snow that moved through northeastern Nebraska, and now south central and southwestern Nebraska already starting to see partially covered roads right there, and then covered roads in the far north southwestern corner just southwest of North Platte. So everybody else so far so good, but things may deteriorate rather quickly, especially along and south of Interstate 80. This is 84th and O Street at Southeast Community College. Maybe a snowflake or two that's kind of hard to see. There's not very many of them out there yet, but we are expecting the snow to intensify a little bit as we head through the overnight. Temperatures are in the 20s right now. 24 Southeast Community College, East Campus, the airport at 25 degrees. Just about everybody is in the upper teens and lower middle 20s. A little warmer in Beatrice and Nebraska City at 29 degrees. So some warmer temperatures a little farther south and east, but much cooler north and west as cold air is coming down from the north, and that's good and bad. The good is that it's kind of a drier air. The bad is that it's thwarting away some of the snowfall potential that we had. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad for you, but if you want some moisture, that means that dry air is trying to push further south, and that means that the snowfall potential is lower. So all of this dry, cold air from the north is meeting with the precipitation band to the south. There it is. This is all the snowfall. Now, you can see it's eroding away right there. That cold, dry air just pushing down on it. And a lot of this right here isn't even making it to the surface. This right here, though, the bluer shades likely getting to the surface, but when it's a brighter white there, it's falling, but it just kind of evaporates before it gets to the ground. So we need to saturate the atmosphere, and eventually we'll see some accumulating snowfall, especially along and south of Interstate 80. And here's what Stormcast has through 10 p.m. There it is. All of that along and south of Interstate 80. And there's nothing special about Interstate 80. It's just a point that everybody knows where it's at. So really the southern half of the state has the best chance for snow. By midnight, still out there, so accumulating snow should start to happen about this time frame. By 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it shifts off to the east. And by about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, just lingering in southeastern Nebraska before it kicks on out. And really by noon, much of the state should see plenty of sunshine, and the eastern half of the state will eventually see some sunshine the second half of the day. So snow chances in Lincoln look like this. A really good chance as we head through the overnight and into very early tomorrow morning before it just kind of drops off by about 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So the snow chances are out there, but we'll see how long it takes to get these accumulating snowfalls to start. Now, this is what I have for potential snowfall, and they're all really, really close together. You don't have to go very far before you see it taper off quickly. 6 to 8 inches along the Nebraska-Kansas border, 4 to 6 inches from about Nebraska City south and west. I think from Lincoln to just south of Omaha, 2 to 4, and then 1 to 3, and then almost next to nothing the further north you go. So as long as the dry air doesn't push further south, this should be about right. But we all know how things have been going the last couple of years. It's been a while since parts of southeastern Nebraska has seen a decent snowfall. So hopefully we get some tonight, and this is good news right here if you want snowfall. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in place through Thursday morning into the afternoon hours for some of us in southeast Nebraska. So your forecast tonight, temperatures getting a little on the chilly side, middle and upper teens. And when you get cold like that, it's usually because of a drier air. So models were saying a lot more than this 2 to 4 inches. So I kind of cut those more than half. So hopefully that's about right. North wind at 10 to 25 miles per hour. Highs tomorrow, pretty close to 30 degrees. If not the 30s, we'll see the upper 20s. A little blustery too. North wind at 10 to 25 miles per hour. That snowfall in the morning, and then partly cloudy skies and 30 degrees by the afternoon. 7-day forecast. We quiet down and warm back up. In fact, this right here is just about as normal gets in February. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies and 42 on Saturday. Back to being warmer than average on Sunday and Monday of next week. Then another chance for snow comes our way Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and a little cooler with those temperatures dropping down into the 30s. But the snow is out there now. It has begun. We'll see if the accumulating snow happens where we think it's going to happen. That's always a little stressful for meteorologists, but we'll keep an eye on it. Have more updates at 6 and 10.
I know I would like to see some good amounts of snow. We kind of took a poll in the newsroom. Some wanted it, some didn't. But
Rod, was rain, the rain we had here this week? I like that.
It was nice yesterday. It sounded like spring. But all right, thanks, Rusty. A positive day on Wall Street. The Dow gaining 39 points. NASDAQ is up 110. S&P also adding 11 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Night.
In the last couple of days, several Nebraskans have reported seeing strange lights in the skies all across our state. Well, they're not aliens. It's SpaceX's Starlink satellites which have been making their way across the nation over the past couple of weeks now.
Here are some photos of the Starlight satellites. The light piqued the interest of many Nebraskans, especially after reports of the military shooting down 3 unidentified objects recently, including that Chinese spy balloon earlier this month. You can track where the satellites are as they reach orbit by visiting findstarlink.com. salvageware.com right there at the bottom of your screen.
All right. Well, they're keeping a close eye on that. Our man Rusty on this latest winter storm.
Yeah, hopefully nobody shoots down our weather balloons. We really need those things to get our forecast correct, and there's not many of them out there anyway. Hey, this is what it looks like right now in Aurora. A few flakes starting to come down. That north gusty wind really blowing around. So any snow that does fall will be blown around by that wind out of the north at 20 to 30 miles per hour. But here's the current temperatures out there. 25 in Lincoln, cloudy skies, 29 in Beatrice. Mostly cloudy in Columbus, 22 in Aurora. A few flakes being reported in York, 23 degrees, and 18 in Norfolk with that northwest wind around 10, 20, maybe gusting towards 30 or 35 miles per hour. Here's the satellite and the radar. Notice the darker blue. When you see the bluish color on the snow for the satellite and the radar, that's when the snow is likely getting to the ground. The brighter whites, though, it's snow, it's falling, but it's not quite making it to the ground. At least most of it isn't. Otherwise, it's a very light flurry activity. So the snow has just started. So if you're not seeing it yet, or just a couple of flakes, be patient. There's still quite a bit out there in the forecast. As we head through Thursday morning, it starts to taper off. 30 degrees on Thursday, 38 degrees on Friday, then 42 degrees on Saturday, which is very close to where we're supposed to be at this time of year. Your hour by hour for tomorrow. Early morning snow showers likely in the capital city. Temperatures in the middle teens. I think we'll jump to around 25 with mostly cloudy skies by noon.
And as always, Rusty will keep you updated online and, of course, on air. Thank you for joining us.
Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
Need a better night's sleep? Come see us. At Comfort Made Mattress Factory, our custom-made mattresses are built to your needs, backed with a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Salvage Warehouse has the best selection of new and used household appliances. Delivery and installation is available along with a full warranty offered on every appliance sold. Stop by today for the income tax sale and receive up to 25% off on all items at Salvage Warehouse.
Celebrate great savings during Ernie's and Soresco's President's Day sale. Legendary 50% off savings on furniture, mattresses, flooring, appliances, electronics, and Connecticut water systems. Save up to $800 on Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets with free delivery and setup. Rebates up to $2,000 on cafe appliances. The President's Day flooring sale is a great time to give your home a refreshing and affordable new look. Plus, it's interest-free till 2027. The smartest time to buy for your home is now at Ernie's and Soresco and Ernie's Mattress First, Lincoln.
Fly through LNK, the zero-stress, hassle-free airport. Now with daily flights to Chicago, Denver, and Houston. Book now at goflylnk.com.
Children's Hospital and Medical Center, the very best for kids.
If you're ever injured in an accident, remember this name. If a loved one is injured or killed in an accident, remember this name. If you're ever injured because of someone else's carelessness, remember this name. Call Powers Law. No fee unless we recover for you at 402-474-8000. Powers Law. Remember this name.
I doubt that can ever happen.
I'm gonna want to see some trials or something.
It'd be a good thing if it worked.
In life, it's the little everyday moments that mean the most. Make those moments a little warmer and a little brighter by gathering around the fire. Fireplace, stone, and patio. Inspired living, inside and out.
Salvage Warehouse has the best selection of new and used furniture for every room. We offer a wide variety of furniture options, including new mattresses available in all sizes. Stop by today for the income tax sale and receive up to 25% off on all items at Salvage Warehouse.
Come to the Abate of Nebraska Bike Show this weekend at the Lancaster Event Center.
Tonight, emotional outbursts in court. The gunman in the racist killing of 10 black people at a grocery store in Buffalo sentenced to life in prison. Anger erupting as families confronted Peyton Gendron, a man charging at him. Officers rushing him out of the courtroom. Family members sobbing as the judge read the names of each of his victims, sentencing him to life without parole for every hate-filled murder. The judge telling him, quote, "There can be no mercy for you." Aaron Katursky in the courtroom. Tonight, tracking a major winter storm as we come on the air. 25 states on alert for heavy snow and rain, wind, and possible tornadoes. Severe storms from Texas to Alabama to Ohio through tomorrow. Rob Marciano timing it all out. Breaking news, disturbing video showing a military Black Hawk helicopter crashing near Huntsville, Alabama, killing everyone on board. The images just coming in. Growing concerns tonight about airline safety. The head of the FAA testifying before Congress about the cause behind a nationwide ground stop last month. The FAA promising action following a series of dangerous close calls, including a fourth incident we're just learning about in Honolulu. Gio Benitez standing by. Days of mourning on the campus of Michigan State University. Vigils honoring 3 classmates shot and killed during a shooting rampage. Students protesting at the state capitol demanding gun reform. Dramatic testimony in the Alec Murdaugh murder trial. For the first time, jurors seeing the moment he denies killing his wife and son. Detectives asking, "Did you kill Maggie? Did you kill Paul?" Murdaugh asking if he's now a suspect. The catastrophic earthquake in Turkey and Syria. At least 6 survivors pulled from the rubble today, buried for roughly 200 hours. Heartbreak over the more than 41,000 dead, many of the victims being placed in mass graves. The humanitarian crisis growing worse. James Longman reporting from Turkey tonight. New body camera video of the deadly U-Haul rampage here in New York City. Officers rushing to get elementary school children out of the street. News on the driver tonight. Newly released rare images of the Titanic, shot after being discovered on the ocean floor nearly 4 decades ago. And tributes tonight to a Hollywood icon.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us on this Wednesday night. I'm Whit Johnson in for David tonight. And we begin with the emotional hearing in a Buffalo courtroom. The white supremacist who killed 10 black people at a neighborhood supermarket last May, hearing from the families of his victims, confronting him with their pain and anger before he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At one point, a grieving family member rushing forward, trying to reach the gunman seated at the defense table, court officers jumping in to hurry the gunman away. The outpouring of emotion over that carefully planned massacre. Peyton Gendron drove more than 200 miles to that black community wearing body armor and live streaming the attack. In a brief statement, he apologized, acknowledging he killed his victims because they were black. Strong words from Judge Susan Egan telling Gendron he deserved no mercy, no understanding, no second chances. And as she sentenced him, Judge Egan described each of his victims, the lives they led, and who they left behind. Gendron had pleaded guilty in order to save his life, but he could still face the death penalty when he's tried on federal crimes. ABC's senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky leads us off from Buffalo.
Tonight, the pain of that racist attack at a Buffalo supermarket roared into court as families of the 10 black men and women shot dead faced their loved one's killer. A spectator lunging at Peyton Gendron, deputies rushing him out of the courtroom. His sentencing hearing paused until order was restored.
I understand the anger, but we cannot have that in the courtroom.
The dramatic interruption coming as the sister of 72-year-old victim Catherine Massey pointedly addressed the shooter.
Cat didn't hurt anybody. None ain't family did. You gonna come to our city and decide you don't like black people. Man, you don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human.
9 months after Gendron opened fire at the Tops supermarket in a well-planned attack, the emotional wounds are still raw for Wayne Jones, remembering his 65-year-old mother, Celestine Cheney.
While I was writing this, tears fell from my eyes. Thinking about what a beautiful person you took.
And with Gendron watching passively in an orange jumpsuit, the widow of top security guard, 55-year-old Aaron Salter, who was hailed a hero for facing down the shooter, explaining why she wore red and black.
Red for the blood that he shed. for his family and for his community. And Black, because we are still grieving.
I'm very sorry.
Afterward, the shooter briefly apologizing.
I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were Black.
But relatives and prosecutors doubting his sincerity.
I firmly do not believe that that was from his heart.
With Gendron pleading guilty to domestic terrorism motivated by hate, the judge sentenced him to the mandatory life in prison with no chance at parole.
There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. There can be no mercy for you, no understanding, no second chances.
Aaron Katursky joining us now from Buffalo. And Aaron, we saw just how painful it was for these families in the courtroom, and they'll have another chance to confront the shooter.
They will, Whit, because Peyton Gendron faces federal hate crimes charges, and the Justice Department is deciding whether to pursue the death penalty. The families are also working with the city to try and establish a permanent memorial to their loved ones. Whit.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Back here now to that breaking news we're following from Alabama. A military helicopter crashing near Huntsville, killing everyone on board. Disturbing images caught on a surveillance camera. The helicopter seen there off in the distance, plunging down to earth behind the houses, and then afterward, smoke rising from that spot. Officials say the Black Hawk helicopter belonged to the Tennessee National Guard. First responders finding it engulfed in flames, saying it was a total loss. It's not yet known just how many were on board. Next here, the major storm on the move tonight. 25 states from Colorado to Maine on alert. 80 million people in the path of strong winds, heavy snow, and a tornado threat. Plus a severe thunderstorm watch at this hour in parts of the south. Blizzard conditions near Moorhead, Minnesota, stranding drivers on I-94. Snow in Denver for the morning commute. The airport canceling more than 160 flights. As that storm moves east, severe storms and the tornado threat start to pick up. Let's get right to ABC's senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano. And Rob, the most dangerous hours coming after dark.
Yeah, this is becoming a really big system with a big range of impacts. Here in Memphis, we're really nervous about what the storms will bring tonight, a threat for tornadoes. We're kind of in the bullseye of that enhanced area you see on the map, and there's that watch you spoke of just issued for Dallas north into Oklahoma. Everything's kind of evolving right now, including the snow threat. Winter storm warnings posted from Utah all the way through the Great Lakes. That snow shield will be expanding, basically 5 to 8 inches of snow across that swath. And then the thunderstorms that will come through Little Rock overnight, and then Memphis, couple of pulses of that. They'll be reinvigorated during the day tomorrow in Alabama, Mississippi, and through Georgia, and also all the way up through the Tennessee Valley. Places like Nashville, Louisville, and Cincinnati could see storms that have damaging or tornadoes there. The next 36 hours across the Mid-South will be dicey. Whit?
Yeah, important for people to heed those warnings. Rob, thank you. Next tonight, the FAA launching a safety review of our country's aviation system after a string of recent close calls. 4 incidents in just 3 months. The latest happening in Honolulu, a United passenger jet crossing the runway where a Cessna was landing. The head of the FAA on Capitol Hill today insisting the system is safe, but saying we can absolutely be better. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation for us.
Tonight, the NTSB and FAA revealing another alarming near miss in Honolulu, just as the acting head of the FAA appeared before a Senate panel. A United jet told by air traffic control to stop on a taxiway, instead crossing the runway as a Cessna plane was landing in mid-January. The 4th major close call in the last 3 months, including at JFK, when a Delta plane nearly collided with an American Airlines flight that was on the wrong runway.
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
The FAA now launching a safety review team to investigate the series of near collisions.
I formed the safety review team to examine the U.S. aerospace systems structure, culture, processes, systems, and integration of safety effort.
Billy Nolan on Capitol Hill to testify about that system failure last month when the FAA says an employee unintentionally deleted a file, causing a nationwide ground stop. But most of the focus today on those close calls across the country. Senator Ted Cruz pressing Nolan on a February incident in Austin, Texas, where a FedEx cargo plane attempting to land came within 100 feet of a Southwest flight filled with passengers.
How can this